A child becomes the first victim of the measles outbreak in West Texas.
Governor Abbott's proposed voucher system earns a majority in the House.
And a famous celebrity was found dead last night in his own home.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Krista Adams.
And I'm India Edwards. A school-aged child is the first to die from the measles outbreak today in Lubbock, Texas. According to state officials, the child was not vaccinated and was admitted to the hospital last week as the measles outbreaks keep spreading. One of the 124 cases, 101 patients have been identified as babies, school-aged children, and teenagers. So, what is measles? It is one of the most contagious viruses in the world. Medical experts say it can survive in the air for up to 2 hours, and 9 out of 10 people who are susceptible will get the virus. What are the early signs and symptoms? They include high fever, cough, small white spots that appear inside the mouth, and a rash that begins on the face, then spreads down the body. Most children will recover from the measles, but infection can lead to dangerous complications like pneumonia, blindness, brain swelling, and deafness. Texas health officials are now tracking down anyone who may have been exposed. In Gaines County, the mobile health care unit is offering measles testing and vaccines for people who are not sick enough to be hospitalized. The Rockwall County officials are on alert for additional cases. ntTV News will continue to follow this story.
The measles is not the only virus we're battling here in Texas. However, the bird flu virus is spreading across the nation, impacting birds, the egg industry, and now people. ntTV reporter Avery Callens got an inside look into what the biggest concerns are and how egg farmers are dealing with this growing problem.
The price of these have risen up to 52% since the beginning of last year, and inflation is not the only culprit. It's the bird flu outbreak that has killed 41.1 million birds since the beginning of December of 2024 through January of this year.
The bird flu, or avian influenza, has brought increasing harm to the egg industry. This is because it's harbored in birds who migrate close together, but it can spread in other ways.
A worker on a chicken farm could either pick it up or transfer it to the chickens. The chickens are so packed in, in those farms that it can just spread very rapidly.
Michael Jimenez is an egg farmer working in Bridgeport, Texas, who has thought about this kind of outbreak for a while.
But from whenever I started the business plan, I understood it, but it wasn't really until I recently went to a pastured poultry conference and they told me last year we lost over 20 million birds due to the avian influenza.
While his farm has not been infected, Jimenez tells me the only thing he can do is make sure he takes preventative measures.
For me personally, I have livestock guardian dogs with my chickens, and what I love is that they deter any predators, whether it be coyotes or raccoons. They also deter birds. Hawks, owls, or any other birds that is not a chicken, they don't want near the chickens.
The bird flu has already crossed species lines, but Bernard says there's a bigger concern.
The real concern is if it starts to being passed, from people to people, which to my knowledge has not happened yet.
Yesterday, the U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for the use of the bird flu vaccine. However, that decision still ultimately rests in the hands of the regulatory authorities and the poultry industry. With North Texas Television, I'm Avery Callens.
The USDA also reports Denton County is among the 14 counties in Texas that has been affected by the bird flu hit. A flock of 40 birds locally, but it was contained within that flock.
UNT students got a chance to advocate for more funding for the university this past Tuesday to support all the programs underway here at the school. The UNT infrastructure is under strain, and modern research is essential, and of course that is going to require funding. Of the 4 largest university systems in Texas, UNT is the least funded. Many organizations like UNT's Mariachi Band, Student Government Association, and Alumni Association were on hand to plead their case. Participants visited with lawmakers and advocated for increased state funding that will help students and programs thrive. ntTV News will be featuring in-depth stories on the efforts to increase funding and its impact on students in our broadcast over the next few days.
Another thing that's impacted students lately is the change in weather. Last week was unbelievably cold, and now I can go outside with just my sweater.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Faith is here with the weather today, and Faith, please tell us if we are going to go through another drastic change this week.
Thanks, guys. We are having some technical difficulties, so you're just going to have some faith in me. Our current temperatures are going to be 66, feeling the exact same with 11-mile-per-hour winds with sunny skies. Moving on into tonight, we're going to see those temperatures drop just a little bit at 57, feeling the exact same with winds at 2 miles per hour. Moving on into tomorrow, our temperatures are going to start to rise again at 71, feeling like 70 with our winds back to 11 miles per hour. Moving on throughout this week, we do see some showers come in, but I'll have more on that later in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
I love the sunny weather. It makes me want to get out and walk around, but sometimes my knees don't agree with my wants.
I know what you mean. I'm young, and sometimes my knees still give me an ache. Alicia Palacios has more on how we can better our knees so we can enjoy this weather.
Thanks, guys. You know, I want to enjoy the weather every chance I get while it's sunny, which is why one thing I want to make sure I still have while I'm older is freedom to move around. Knee pain is a common reason Americans tend to struggle moving as they age. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more on how we can slow the progression of knee pain and how we can prevent knee pain from forming.
It's nothing new. Knee pain is one of the most common complaints. In the U.S., about 790,000 total knee replacements are performed every year. And as people get older, that number is expected to get higher.
Now, most times it is due to osteoarthritis in the joint.
It's a degenerative joint disease causing the breakdown of tissues as a person ages. Osteoarthritis not only leads to pain, but joint stiffness, joint movement limitations, and swelling in and around the joint, especially after activity. But research shows you may be able to slow the progression of the pain or even avoid it altogether by strengthening your leg muscles.
Simply put, people who had more leg muscle mass had a lower risk of knee osteoarthritis. Now, that increased muscle mass can sort of protect the knee, taking some of the strain off the joints.
Experts say strength training is the best way to bulk up the muscles in your legs. The CDC recommends older adults get 150 minutes of moderately intense physical activity each week and at least 2 days of muscle strengthening activity each week. The agency says muscles can be strengthened in many ways, including lifting weights, working with resistance bands, using body weight for resistance during exercise like push-ups, or simply doing some gardening work or yoga.
It's important to start strength training slowly, also maintain a healthy body weight, and just keep moving, keep active.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Since I'm already working on strengthening my knees, I should also work on strengthening my balance too. CDC mentions that adults should practice keeping their balance. This keeps us all from falling when we get older too. That's all I have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Alicia. When we come back, could the recent tariffs and federal layoffs impact you at home?
And more on how an organization in Denton is working to fight against drug addiction. Stay with us.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DATQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DATQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DATQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DATQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
you can almost be tricked into thinking that there's a happy ending here. I think that's so powerful. It's a true story of Ruth Snyder. There's some kind of liberties in the story. The young woman is definitely more of a sympathetic character than the original Ruth Snyder.
I would say that it is a story about a woman breaking out of the box she has been put in by society.
It is a story about societal pressures, and it's also a story about love and what drives somebody to sometimes do things that may seem awful.
I really like the soundscapes. I think that they add a nice layer to the show.
Be prepared for an incredibly immersive, anxiety-ridden experience.
How she sees the world and the way that she sees these different faces all the time, this is like how the machine rolls.
School vouchers are one step closer to reality in the Texas legislature. The House has passed their version of the bill that gives family taxpayer dollars to send their children to private schools. The bill passed by just one vote, but Governor Abbott says he has enough support in both the House and the Senate that will ensure that the school voucher program becomes official in Texas. However, before that happens, the House and Senate will have to iron out the differences. The two bills have significantly different ways of funding and distributing the proposed money. At stake is over $1 billion in tax money, which would go to families sending children to private schools.
It's another day and another concern about the inflation. The Trump administration is doubling down on their promise to impose 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, leaving Americans worried about the future of the economy. CNN's Amy Kiley reports.
Americans are starting to see a new economic reality under President Donald Trump. Take tariffs, for instance, with Trump confirming yesterday he still plans to impose 25% duties on Mexican and Canadian imports. Tariffs on Chinese goods are in place now, and Trump says reciprocal ones are in the works.
It is a drive to bring back manufacturing, to protect our great jobs here.
Economists say tariffs support domestic producers by making U.S. businesses pay extra for imports. In light of new ones, Apple and Eli Lilly say they're investing billions of dollars in U.S. manufacturing. On the other hand, recent surveys show tariffs are causing concern about inflation.
Consumers are telling us that they are getting a bit more worried about the future.
Republican efforts to lower the deficit are making waves too.
The new reality is less government, more efficiency, better return for the taxpayers.
Part of that is a new House resolution that calls for massive and controversial spending cuts. It also contains sweeping tax breaks that aren't sitting well with some fiscal hawks.
The deficit's going to go up.
Large-scale layoffs of federal workers are another part of the plan to reduce spending. Some analysts worry they could backfire.
Are literally some of the firings just in the federal government, which has 10 million workers, is that going to be enough to cause a recession?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A nonprofit addiction center here in Denton is facing some economic troubles, making the future of the establishment unclear.
To give us some better insight onto the ongoing struggle, our segment reporter Omar Najm has more on the story. Omar?
Thanks, Krista. Scott Weisenbaker, who has dedicated nearly 20 years to addiction recovery, is fighting to keep Solution of North Texas open. This nonprofit in Denton is one of the only affordable addiction treatment centers and has seen a surge in demand the last 3 years, but a sharp decline in funding. Weisenbaker's request for $100,000 from Denton County's opioid settlement funds has been denied, which County Judge Andy Eads' alleged comment about the trash on the bottom of the hill has fueled a social campaign and a peaceful planned protest at 9 a.m. on March 4th at the Denton County Administrative Courthouse off Loop 288. A GoFundMe campaign aims to raise $250,000 to cover the payroll and past debt. Despite the challenges, Weisenbaker remains committed to those serving and those in need, being a critical role of the solutions in the community. That's all from me. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Omar. Now, India, I don't know about you, but Texas flip-flopping between hot, cold, yes, and no is really starting to get on my nerves.
I know, right? When is it all going to be finally balanced out? Maybe our weather reporter, Faith Webster, can give us some more insight. Faith?
Thanks, guys. Across North Texas, we're going to see mid-60s all throughout. Our highest is going to be in McKinney and Sulphur Springs at 67, with our lowest in Stephenville at 64. Moving across the state, we're going to see about the same temperatures with, of course, North Amarillo at 57. They're still feeling a little bit chilly, but nothing too much. Moving throughout this week, Friday and Saturday are those days of sunshine. Then we're going to see our rain come in Sunday, 53% chance of rain, with Mondays mostly cloudy. Tuesday, our temperatures are going to remain the same at 73 with a low of 45, but those thunderstorms are going to come in. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to see some partly cloudies, but our temperatures are going to remain the mid-60s. Nobody can rain on our parade here at UNT, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Faith. While you're out enjoying the sunny skies and cool breeze, you can take advantage of the Union Arts Center. Our news associate, Jessica Newall, takes us on a trip to paper marbling event they held yesterday. Take a look.
Recently, I got the chance to check out the Union Arts Center and see a little bit of a craft called paper marbling.
Super fun and pretty easy to do for everyone. Basically, you're gonna get some ink and make drops in a water bath and move it around, make some pretty patterns, and then dip your paper in and you come out with a nice marbled piece of paper.
While I think my project turned out pretty good, it definitely wouldn't be where it is without the kind staff to help me out.
Yeah, so what we wanted to do here with the UAC is basically give all students on campus, not just CVAT and art students, the opportunity to try out different forms of art that they might not have otherwise thought to do or had the chance to.
The UAC can be an amazing outlet to de-stress, have some fun with friends, and even have a little art project to take home after.
My favorite part about these workshops and activities that we do is getting to see students like branch out and do something that maybe they wouldn't do on their own. I love seeing people try something new and be like surprised at their own abilities.
While I certainly had fun trying something new, the Union Arts Center has something for everyone every single day of the week.
Yes, we are open 5 days a week. On Monday to Thursdays, we're open from 11 to 8, and on Fridays, we're open 11 to 4. And our Instagram is UNT_@UnionArts. And this is where we have all of our upcoming events.
Make sure to check out UAC's Instagram to get the inside scoop on what's coming up and what to look forward to. I'm Jessica Qualley, reporting for North Texas Television.
Tomorrow, the Union Arts Center is holding 3 separate weaving workshops in collaboration with the Savvy Studio, and you can definitely catch me at their Minecraft woodblock workshop next week.
After the break, stick with us to find out more about some movies you can go see to make the most of your spring break.
And how you can get in some more active fun with a new faculty right here in Denton.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have. I wonder what's on the radio today. I don't know about this. This is not it.
Everything alternative, commercial free. 88.1 Indie.
Here at KNTU, we have 2 traditional stations, 88.1 Indie and KNTU Jazz. We've also recently launched an internet radio station called Mean Green Hits. If you want to hear more, you can check us out at medianorthtexas.com.
That was pretty good.
Are you tired of seeing the same old city? You want to learn something and go overseas? Then study abroad with one of many UNT Study Abroad programs. You can find a Study Abroad office right here at Markey Hall, room 145.
My study abroad program left on me a great impression. We have a lot of different programs and it varies. We have faculty-led, affiliate, and exchange programs. When you're ready to leave for your study abroad program from UNT, you're gonna go through pre-departure orientation and modules so that you are prepared.
The power to turn the world into your classroom is right here at UNT with our study abroad programs. Take flight and take in charge of your education.
One thing about me, I love a good sandwich and a good deal. If you're just like me, you'll be happy to hear that Subway is bringing back their cheaper footlong subs. Inflation has reached an all-time high and people are spending their coin where it is budget-friendly. Subway, in an attempt to attract more customers, realized that it might be time to start bringing down their prices. The original footlong sub, which originally retails for about $14, has now been discounted to $6.99. The president of Subway, Doug Fry, stated people continue to watch their spending, but don't want to sacrifice quality and the taste for value when dining on the go. Although this is an amazing deal, it is only available for a limited time and can only be ordered through Subway app or online, with the code being 699 capital FL.
Card games are taking Denton by storm, and Magic the Gathering is one of Denton's resident favorites. I got the chance to speak to a few players to see why Magic the Gathering is so important to them. Take a look.
Magic the Gathering has been standing strong as one of the top TTRPGs, a tabletop role-playing game, since its creation in 1993. Many of the MTG, Magic the Gathering community, has found their way into Denton's local game shops. I recently interviewed an avid player of MTG to learn more.
In my family, we've always kind of been board game focused. So growing up, we played all the typical kids games. We did Hi Ho Cherry-O, we did Sorry. But then as I got older, my dad started introducing me into more and more complicated adult games. And one of those was Magic. And so we started playing, I believe, from when I was around age 10 onwards.
Magic the Gathering has become much more than a household game.
And we also went to a board game convention every year and got to play with some of his friends and previous coworkers. You no longer have to buy a Magic manual that's 50 pages long to understand the rules. You've got people on YouTube, like the professor, who will teach you all the rules of the game. There are plenty of places that will do game nights, and I definitely come out here when I can with friends to play Magic.
So if you're looking for inclusivity and welcoming fantasy fun, a sense of community under the Denton sun, you might go check out your local card shop.
My life has been so crazy lately, and I haven't had any time to go out and watch some new movies. I wonder if there's something that's coming out that will catch my eye.
Going out and watching a movie sounds like a great way to de-stress from all that work. I hear Vanessa knows exactly what's coming up next month. Vanessa?
Thank you guys. March is around the corner and movie fanatics have a lot to look forward to. We got big names like Warner Brothers, Focus Features, Universal Pictures, and many more releasing films for the upcoming month. Starting off with In the Lost Lands, releasing in March 7th, where a witch travels great distance for power on the same day. We got Robert Pattinson's Mickey 17, perfect for fans who like some comedy with their sci-fi. If you've been feeling nostalgic, Looney Tunes is back in action with their upcoming movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, and spy thriller Black Bag on March 14th. Theaters might get packed with the fairest one of all, Snow White, and dramas The Alto Nights and Magazine Dreams being released on March 21st. We then end the month with the dramedy The Friend, starring Bill Murray, sharing some laughs with The Ballad of Wallace Island, and a highly anticipated horror, The Woman in the Yard. Spring is the perfect time for new experiences, so grab your popcorn and go to your local theater. Whether you go with loved ones or on your own, these movies will guarantee you a good time. While movies continue to cherish their, While movies continue to capture our hearts, Hollywood's heart is breaking today as it mourns the loss of our beloved star, Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy Aragawa, and their cherished dog. Hackman, 95, was found dead in Santa Fe along with his wife and dog in their room last night. there was an open prescription bottle with pills scattered on a countertop near Aragawa, with no indication of physical wounds, according to Santa Fe's Sheriff's Office. The New Mexico's gas company will be working with the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department in the investigation. Hackman was one of the most beloved actors of his generation. He had a diverse roles from Lex Luthor in Superman to a coach finding redemption in the sentimental film Hoisers. He and his wife will greatly be missed. That is all for me. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Vanessa. My heart goes out to the family. While the Starbucks menu shrinks, the sport of pickleball continues to grow. A new pickleball facility, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties.
Let's swing over to Matthew and see what's going on in the sports area.
Thanks, guys. Yesterday, UNT softball beat the 13th ranked Texas Tech Raiders in an absolute thriller. Going into the 7th inning, Texas Tech was up 5-0, and thanks to UNT's Riley McNamer, they won off of a grand slam. Now to Mavs basketball. Tonight they play the Charlotte Hornets in the AAC. Right now they're on a 2-game skid, but look to get back in the win column. That's all for sports. Thank you.
Are you looking for a fun club with travel opportunities? Dive into the UNT Swim Club. Practicing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Pole Recreation Center. We accept members at any skill level. For more information, reach out to us at unt.swimclub on Instagram.
UNT's softball team is off to a hot start to begin the season. Going into their game yesterday against the 13th ranked Texas Tech, they were 12-2. Going into the bottom of the 7th, UNT was down 5-0, but stormed back to make it 5-2 and have the bases loaded with 0 outs on the board. Riley McNamer was up to bat, and she blasted a shot deep to left to walk it off and pull up the ranked upset. UNT plays Sam Houston next, tomorrow at 10 in the morning. The Mavericks also play tonight. The Mavs are kind of in a no man's land right now. The fan base is still upset at Nico Harrison, and they're 9th in the Western Conference. And they're healing up right now, but players like Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford are still out. They play Charlotte tonight in the AAC and look to get back in the win column.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again here tonight on North Texas Television at 6.